The continuation of Chapter 8, Selecting and Constructing. There are two types of AC items, restricted response and extended response. Types of AC items. First is restricted response types. The question or direct given suggests of a specification in constructing response can be terms of limited coverage of contents, specified length or response expected form of response, or definite perspectives or mindset to be used. For example, what is the famous tourism spot in the island of Luzon and why it is popular? So, expected response is tourism spot to be described should be one of found in Luzon, and the outside of Luzon will not be considered. The next one is extended response types. The question or directive does not suggest any form of restriction in the construction of the response. So the student are freely recognize or expound on their ideas freely. Example, explain how the revealing socioeconomic issue affect the lives of the people in the country today. So, the student are freely focused on any socioeconomic issue and choosing which aspect the people lives he can want to describe. Suggestion of constructing essay. Question are given by Meller, Lynn, Gronlund, 2009, page 243. First is restrict use as a question to those learning outcomes that cannot be measured satisfactorily by subject items. So first, objective items cannot be measured. How much important skill as ability to recognize, integrate, and synthesize idea showing one creativity writing style. So use the essay formats, encourage and challenge students to indulge in higher order thinking skill instead of simplifying rote memorization of the fact and remembering inconsequential details. The second one is construct question that will call forth the skills specified in learning standard. A review of learning standard in curricula will show the range from knowledge to deep understanding. The performance standard required the learner to demonstrate application of principle, analysis of experimental finding, evaluation of result, and creation of new knowledge that explicitly stated in terms of the expected outcomes in every grade level. Teachers are expected to make it part to direct construction to teach them on how to develop these competences. The third one is phrase of the question so that the student task is clearly defined. Restricted response types of AC question especially states that a specific task to be done in writing, such as possible. The student should interpret the question in the same way according to what teacher expected through the specification in the question. For instance, if the teacher aimed to testing student ability to apply learning properties of the substance for the specific purpose, the question could be stated explain the property of copper that make it good for making cooking pan instead of simplifying why the copper a good material. The fourth one is indicate an approximate time limit for each question. This should be specially considered when the test is combination of objective and non-objective format like inclusion of easy question, knowing how much time is allotted to each one to make the student budget their time so they not spend their time on the first question and consequently missing out on others. Last one is avoid to use optional question. Some teacher have to practice to allowing the student to select one or two easy question from a set of 5 questions. Some disadvantages of this practice may include not being able to use the same basis of reporting test result, or student being able to prepare through memorization for those they will likely chosen. So the learning key points of AC type tests is useful for assessing complex understanding or higher level of thinking. Basic of preparation of rubric in the selection of relevant scoring criteria to be used of evaluating and rating output. Every often used to evaluate AC are clarity, message organization, deep understanding, creativity of idea, grammatical accuracy, and etc. If the relevant criteria are singled out and focused separately to show the learner profile across this different dimension of attribute, analytic scoring is applied. This is the example of analytic scoring. This type is useful when scoring giving feedback to the learner as enables them to realize their strong and weakness points, especially when they are made aware of scoring criteria. There are suggestions also given by Meller et al. To improve the reliability of scoring responsive easy questions. So first, prepare the outline of the expected answer in advance, particularly for restricted response types which define especially the task having list of expected response and principle or two theory and explain phenomenon, while every useful to the teacher. So second one is use of scoring rubrics that is most appropriate. Three is decide how to handle the factors that are relevant to the learning outcomes being measured. Fourth is evaluate all responses to one question before ongoing to the next one. 5 is when possible, evaluate of answer without looking at the student name. Last one is if especially important to the decision are to be based on the result obtained two or more independent rating. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, which is constructed and selected response types. So, the greatest challenge for these item formats is the construction of possible option or destructor so not no one standout be actively correct. There are three types of selective response formats. Okay, first is alternative form or binary choice provides only two options. Second is multiple choice types offer three or five option or solution to a problem. And lastly is matching types given a set problem or premises and a set option which will be appropriately prepared. Binary choice or alternate form. So example of form is true or false, yes or no, right or wrong. So for example of true or false is the planet of the solar system revolve around the sun. The choices are true or false. Okay, the second one is the multiple choice. According to Macmillan 2007, insert that multiple choice can assess whether student can use reasoning as a skill similar to binary choice items is to use students' knowledge and skill to perform problem solving, decision making, or other reasoning tasks. Cognitively demand outcome involving analysis, evaluation, and lead themselves to the use multiple choice items. Okay, the last one is matching type. So this is the three general selected response item formats. Matching items fare differently. It consists two parallel lists of word or phrases that students are tasked to pair. So the first list, which is the match, is referred to as premises, while the other list form, which is the choice, it's match based on kind association, is the option. So this is the example of matching types. So this is the illustrative as in simplified by guide constructing matching item type by Kubitsin and Borich 2010. First is to keep the list of premises and the list of option homogeneous or belong to the category. Second is keep the premises always in the first column and the option in the second column. So third one is keep the list in the two column in equal of number. This is reason for this to avoid guessing. The option in column B are usually more than premises in column A. The fourth one is test direction always describe the basis for match. So the match column A and with column B is the no in matching type. Describe clearly what is found in the two column, how they are associated, and how matching will be done. So fifth is keep the number premises not more than 8 as shown in the two simple items. Last is ambiguous list should be avoided, and especially through the preparation of option for the second column. There are should only one option appropriately associated with the premises unless mentioned that an option could be used more than once as mentioned in fourth number. So this is often occurred when matching event and the places or event and name description and character. So that's all for my report, and God bless.